Welcome to another exciting episode of Women in the Making Season 2, a platform where we celebrate and empower women through incredible life stories. Annie Rand said, "The question isn't who's going to let me, it's who's going to stop me." In this tapestry of life, community is the thread that weaves resilience, belonging, and change. Deepali Jamwal has crafted a masterpiece of inclusion, turning every challenge into an opportunity to create a vibrant and connected society. As we unravel Deepali's story, we'll explore her leadership, advocacy, and profound impact of her dance community. From her recognition as the recipient of the most desired Global Indian Award to her relentless efforts in cultural integration and justice movements, her journey is a testament to the strength found within our diverse communities. Join me on this power-packed episode. Deepali, welcome to the show. I'm so fortunate that you decided to join us for Season 2, Women in the Making.
Thank you so much, Niyati. And also, this is such a lovely setup here you've got. Congratulations. And thank you so much for having me. I'm very proud of what you're doing.
I'm going to start straight from segment 1, where we talk about roots of resilience, where you belong, where you come from. And I'm so inspired to just know about your journey a little bit. You come from an army background. Your dad retired as a brigadier, which is one of the highest positions in the army. And currently, there are 24 serving members of your own household in the army.
Yeah.
How did this affect your upbringing? Did it make a huge impact while growing up?
I think everything that I am today, it's because of my upbringing, my roots. It's Indian Army, much like every other army kid. I didn't grow up at one place. I grew up all over the country. By the time I was in 9th grade, I'd changed 9 schools. So,
Wow.
it wasn't, we were starting over again every year, leaving our friends behind, our teachers, memories, but then making new friends, new teachers, new memories. So, when people ask us what's home to us, it's really Indian Army. I mean, and everything that it stands for. We grew up with so much pride and resilience.
Absolutely.
And courage, and we didn't grow up like other kids. We didn't have we were always posted in small cities, so the big city entertainments was never there. There was no movie theaters or malls that we could go to. We always had our own world in our cantonments, and we just made life out of whatever we had access to. And for major part of our life, I mean, for a major chunk of my childhood, I didn't see my dad around, right? So even though my dad was the brave one and he was fighting for the country, but I think for an army household, it's really your moms who are the lioness of
I
the
agree.
entire family. They're the ones who keep everybody together, not just my family. They're responsible for everybody, every officer. If you're the commanding lady of the unit, then you're responsible for all the 200 families and making sure their spirits are alive and they're together and united. So it was never, just about our family. It was our entire community and the camaraderie that we were building. And imagine growing up in a family where you don't even know what your dad looks like. I remember my mom used to show us a picture of my dad, that this is what your
Wow.
dad looks like, so that we don't call him uncle.
Oh
when
my
you
God,
when you
that
see
is
him,
unbelievable.
but that happens a
Yeah.
lot in an army.
Absolutely.
I mean, moms show pictures, and I still have a letter from my dad where he's written that. I heard that you're going in your first grade, and you've made these new friends, and I'm so proud of you, and I can't wait to come back to see what you look like. So imagine you don't even know what your kid looks like. So
Yeah.
it's hard, but also you find companionship and
Yeah.
community. And now when I'm talking to you, I feel like that's exactly what I'm doing here
Yeah.
at Live to Dance. In retrospect, when you think about it, I think all of that was preparing me to build a home away from home
Yeah,
in Live to
I
Dance and
so
create
agree.
a world of our own. We've sort of built a world for ourselves here. It's not just a job for them, right? It is who they are. They want to protect the country. They have this inherent sense of patriotism that we grew up with. So
Right.
I feel very passionate about Indian Army, Indian culture, preserving our heritage, and just I'm very proud Indian.
I absolutely love what you just said, because there's like a fighting spirit that you develop while growing
Yeah.
up in an environment like that, because you see the women who
Yeah.
are holding the fort.
Yeah.
And now there is, of course, no differentiation between women and men, but there is still a lot of setback for women, especially because now they are not being heard. They think like they don't have a voice just because they can take taking care of the household. But you've had and been brought up by these women around you, which speaks so much about women in power, right?
Yeah.
Women have so much threshold that they don't get the award.
Yeah.
They should be awarded even as as a homemaker, but we don't receive that.
Yeah.
And neither they are demanding
Yeah.
it. So they do it because they sheer doing it with a lot of love
Yeah.
within them. You moved to America as an immigrant and as a woman of color. How do you think that the Indian army or like a background from the army really, cheered you up or like picked you up from where you left to be here?
You know, now that when I think about it, I think what it really taught me, my upbringing and my background, the number one thing is resilience. And I think, whether it was my dad's profession or it was my parents, I have never seen them give up, and neither do I. I don't give up. So resilience is definitely one of the qualities that I think my upbringing has taught me. The other one is adaptability. I think I
Yes.
do thrive in diverse conditions, situations, in societies, in different it has never been a challenge for me to mingle with diverse group of people. So I definitely think that's, and the number three, oh my gosh, I think I owe everything that I've learned about building communities and a sense of camaraderie and keeping those relationships and
Yeah.
preserving relationships because of my background. So I do think together
And
at all
why
times.
blend in when you can stand out with what you are as
Yeah.
a person?
Yeah.
You can embrace how you have grown up and what your character is
Yeah.
as a person. Dipali, you've built a home away from home, like you said. You decided to start a huge community, which has become huge over a period of time, by Live to Dance. Firstly, I love the name. And Live to Dance is not just a platform or a stage or a place where people can come and dance. You have actually made it into a community with a chorus of diverse voices. Tell me and tell us, the audience, and highlight some impactful stories from that community.
Like you said, dance is just one fraction of what we do at Live to Dance. I mean, I cannot even begin to tell you what it means. It's become a synonym for home for nearly 1,000 of us in Seattle. And the purpose of building Live to Dance was to like I, as an immigrant, know the challenges that we face every time we come to a new country or a new city. How hard it is to make friends, or where do you find people who look like you, who talk like you, who are as Bollywood as you, right? So I just didn't want anyone who came into Seattle to feel like they did not have family or friends. I want them to come to the studio and feel the warmest hugs and the biggest smiles and be greeted with all these friends. And you
That's
have
wonderful.
thousands of friends ready to just welcome
Shower
you.
their
Yeah,
love,
just
yeah.
shower their love and embrace you with all the warmth. As my husband says, he describes Live to Dance as a microcosm of global communities tightly packed together, and I think that is what it is. It is
love
just so
that.
tightly
It's
packed
beautiful,
together.
yeah.
So they're ready to help each other because they're a part of the
There's
community.
trust, there's a lot of,
They're all at home. This is our
Yes.
home. For example, the other day, one of our friends who was in India, her dog was with a dog sitter here in Ballard, and she sent a message on the group at around, I don't remember the exact time, but let's say 10:30. She sent a message that her dog ran away from the dog sitter's house, and if anybody can go to Ballard to find the dog. And within 20 minutes, I'm not kidding, Niyati, in 20 minutes we were able to find that dog.
Wow.
And all of these people, we channelized all the sources around, and none of these people know each other. All they know is they're a part of Live to Dance community. I mean, we are all working towards the same goal. We're just trying to build, a happy life for each other.
That is
And
so amazing.
It's like, I know for a fact, if I'm on the highway and my car is broken down, I'll send one text
You'll
on
get
the
100
group.
people
I'll
who'll
get
just
10
come in.
people come there and help me out with my
Yeah.
car.
I'm not surprised.
So these are just some of the examples. But I think what truly stands out about our community is the sense of belonging that people feel for each other, and the common drive to push each other and help each other grow. For example, with the whole recent layoffs, we saw this coming. We knew there were going to be layoffs, so we started developing a resource where we have an ongoing Excel sheet or a Google Excel sheet where people are writing the roles that they're hiring and who the hiring managers are, so that if
Wow.
anybody's lost their jobs, they can go to their resources and the
This is
contact numbers.
amazing.
And we've been able to find so many jobs for people who've lost their jobs.
Wow. There's
so,
no
yeah.
silent spectators. This is like a symphony of stories that is built through you.
Yeah. I
And
mean, and
how proud
everyone is just doing
this?
each other
And
out.
these are the groups that are built for life.
Yeah.
Whether you are part of the dance club, today or not today, but
Yeah.
I would not be the person who would ever want to leave that group because
Yeah.
it feels like your home, like you said.
When people tell me that they were ready to give up on life, like they were ready to give up on life, and they found comfort at Live to Dance, they found a second chance at Live to Dance, and these are the messages that I get every day. Like there was this mom who told me that this is the first time in 10 years her daughter is off anxiety medication.
Wow, this
She
is
couldn't
big,
stop hugging
Deepali.
me.
Yeah.
There was another mom who told me that she has never seen this side of her son. Like she didn't know her son was so creative and his son was so talented. She
I mean,
kissed
dance
me.
is not a recognized form till today, while we have thousands of platforms,
Yeah.
right? We
Yeah.
are still not allowing our kids to do that.
I feel that's very unfortunate, and
Very
that's something that I deal
unfortunate.
with every day. I think dance is
That's
still.
more in India versus any other country.
I think it's
feel.
here also.
Yeah, this is
So-
amazing. I have not heard of a community built so strong, built with so much passion, so much love. Any time before, like what is happening with Live to Do, it's a revolution in itself. So thank you for bringing
Thank
that.
you.
It has over 2,000 members and getting more.
Yeah.
And we hope that you get the biggest and the most successful platform. And
Thank you.
I hope to see you shining bright.
Thank you.
And this is going to be the best time for
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Dipali, in the grand performance of life, women are the virtuosos of balancing acts. And so are you. You've been trying to balance motherhood, pursuing your passion through Live to Dance, and you also are creating a voice as part of your activism growth. This is beyond my imagination. Tell us a little bit about how do you actually balance, because so many of you and so many of us are watching you today. And even as a mother myself, even as an entrepreneur myself, I have my days. It's really hard to get up from that bed some days and just make it till the end. And those are the days when you feel you need more shine on your life than ever before. How do you make that a reality?
Niyati, when you were asking me that question, I was trying to think of some smart answers of, what I do. I was going to say I wake up every morning and I'm so organized and I make a to-do list, which I do. It is the truth. I do make a to-do list every morning and I scratch it off and I'm always go, 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 go. Like there's never,
Yeah.
I sort of block every noise around me and I'm just have one focus of doing the thing in front of me. So I want to say that is how I balance it. But you know what the truth is? And I get this question asked so many times. So I'm going to answer this for the one and final time. How I balance it all is that I don't. I really don't. When when you see me succeed in one aspect of my life, I am inevitably failing in other aspect of my life. When you see me, killing it at a dance class, I am missing my kids' bath and story time. And when you see me volunteering at my son's school fest, I am perhaps missing a networking opportunity for a possible business expansion.
Sure.
I'm here talking to you right now. My son has a day off, so I'm missing the opportunity to play chess with him and see him smile when he beats me, or when you see me,
Absolutely.
when you see me just succeed in
Yeah.
one aspect, and when you see me networking for possible or potential to help my community grow, I am definitely I'm stressing out at the back of my head that I've not finished my choreographies for tonight. So, I'm always failing. I cannot have it all. I think it took me a while to realize that it's okay
Yeah.
to fail. I think what is important is how you take that failure and how you deal with it. And I'm okay knowing that I cannot have it all. I cannot do it all. I do my best, and I think that should be enough,
It's very
right?
beautifully said.
It should be okay to do your best. I'm not saying, like, I think your viewers are listening to this. I want to say that give each other benefit of doubt. Just cut some slack to each other. Everybody is doing their best, and you have no idea what they're dealing in their life, right? Everybody has so much struggles of their own.
They do.
Just,
They do. Every single person
just give them a
faces
benefit of
something
doubt.
every day. I was hearing a conversation between two people, and this person told the other person, "Why do I only have challenges in my life?" And I was listening to that conversation, and I said, "Can you say that to that person that he's not the only person who has challenges?"
Yeah.
You may seem like you have the storm in your life right now, but it is going to pass.
Yeah.
The storm is going to fade away, and the calmness will come your way.
Yeah.
So it's very important to remember that the storms are temporary.
Yeah.
They do not last. And like you said, failing, I think as mothers, this is our biggest problem. And even for me till today, I feel I want to be the best and the perfect mother at every aspect of life. I cannot.
Yeah.
I am doing one thing, and I think like I'm failing the other thing.
Yeah.
But I don't think we are failing.
Yeah.
What we are
no, we're
doing
not.
is we're trying to do our best, because that's how we are as women or as mothers, is we are irresistible. We have that resilience between us, within us.
Yeah.
And we are going to make our best foot forward
Yeah.
to make that
Yeah.
thing for our child or for our husband, for our partner, everything.
Yeah. And I don't think we're failing. And in fact, I think we are doing everything that men do, but we do it in heels.
Yeah.
How awesome is
I
that?
like
We do.
Yeah, so true. My next question for you is completely different than motherhood. So you're also being part of, making a change in the society. There was a terrible incident that happened in 2023 in Seattle, where a very young girl from India, raised by a single mother, was killed by a cop. And you actually decided to make some reforms. You decided to lead a movement which was followed by thousands of people, and the chief police officer was there as part of that movement.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit more on how emotionally that affected you, that you decided to take that step. As we watched it, we felt for it, we contributed, but that was our share. But there are some people like you who don't just watch, share, and even talk about it, they make things happen. So tell me, I know this is personal and emotional for you, but we love to know more.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure we all saw that video, and it broke our heart.
It did.
I remember seeing it, and I thought it was a fake video. Like, it could not have been real.
Same
it was,
here.
It
Yes.
was. I could not sleep. That laugh, it haunted me for such a long time. I could not sleep, and I didn't know. All I did was I started writing emails. I wrote to mayor's office. I wrote to the chief of police. I wrote to every other organization that I could think of, and how can we let this go? And I don't know if you know, but the accident happened 1 block away from my studio. 1 block away. I mean,
Wow.
we are thousands of us who cross that street every single day. They're all like us, and she was an immigrant. She was just like all of us. When an immigrant comes to the US, you're not you it's not just one person, right? It's an entire family's
Yes.
dream. Their
It is.
sacrifices,
I'm so glad you said that.
the
This is
hard
so
work
true.
that the
Yes.
entire family puts together to send that one kid to the US. What you don't realize is that it's not just any other immigrant. It is the smartest person who's made it by herself
Yes.
to this country. There is no like putting a value to a human being is just so shallow and beneath
It's
comprehension.
very-
I couldn't understand
Very
that
demeaning,
video.
yes.
We don't do a lot for ourselves, and this was our battle. This was our fight. I wanted everyone to join us, because I feel like if we don't, nobody else is going to do it for us. I mean, we are the reason this country thrives on us, and we have become second grade citizens in this country where people don't even recognize or acknowledge us. I'm not talking about tech industry. Obviously, I reached out to the mayor's office, I reached out to the Department of Neighborhood, to OPA. I didn't even know an organization like OPA existed, Office of Police Accountability. It's something where when you have to complain about somebody, you go to the police, right? But what do you do if you have to complain about police to somebody? It's OPA. So that's something that I didn't even know an organization like that existed. So then I worked with Director Gino Betts, who's OPA's director, to offer a free knowledge session to my community people to empower them with knowledge of what their rights are and how we can make an informed decision or be more knowledgeable about lacks here in Seattle Police Department, or in this country in general, is the empathy towards immigrants. I think they just view us as immigrants who've come to steal their jobs. I don't think they see how strong, how hardworking, how passionate we are, how humble, how kind, how loving we are. We are not here to, create any riots or ruff any feathers. We are here to contribute, and we are so smart. I wish if that officer knew how kind and hardworking, an immigrant is, anybody would put a worth to somebody's life. So now I'm working with Seattle Police Department to include Indian culture in their diversity and inclusion program, so that they know more about us, have empathy. If you know more about a person, I think you have more empathy towards them, and then
Deepali, activism isn't a choice. It's a calling that echoes in every action. You have been working with the immigration lawyers and the Office of Mayor to create some laws, especially to support the community during a time when there was a lot of job cuts. And also with the Mayor Office to do something special that I'll let you talk about. So why don't you yourself highlight how did you thought of bringing this initiative alongside, raising two beautiful kids and having this beautiful community that you have built up?
Immigration is such a big weight that we carry on our shoulders every day. I feel like as an immigrant, we deal with the same problems that everybody else deals with, right? Job issues, family, kids, all of our problems are the same. Plus, we have this added stress and weight of immigration, and which we carry with us everywhere. And I feel like I'm so proud of every immigrant who is not just surviving but thriving in this country and so successful in whatever professional fields they've chosen for themselves.
So many people have to leave the country.
Yeah.
I could not work in this country for 8 years being on spouse visa. And I was one of the people who started a revolution on Facebook alongside, I think, a couple of women. And then that Facebook group kind of went viral, where there were thousands of people, and we started asking for signatures, and then eventually Obama passed the law.
Oh, wow.
So,
That's
that was
so cool.
huge. Yeah, that was really huge because, I actually was part of that, and we thought, okay, I could not work in this country for 8 years, but at least we created a platform when a new person is coming, a spouse is coming, they don't have to wait for 8 years.
That's amazing.
We do bachelors, we do masters, and we educate ourselves so much so that when we go to a country like this, we flourish, we grow, we prosper. But here I was.
That's amazing. That's amazing to hear. So similarly, right? Like, I know I'm actually very proud of this. I've been working with Tahmina Watson for the last 2 years now, and I'm finally very, very
She's
happy.
the immigration lawyer.
She's a foremost immigration lawyer in Seattle, and she's honestly
I've
the
spoken
best.
to her long back.
She's
so I
the
know
best. Like,
she
ask
is.
any other immigration lawyer, she's the best in the industry. And I'm very, very happy. I wanted her to come on board as a patron. Now, what we're doing is, it basically means our community has an easy access to an immigration lawyer, which you obviously know it is not easy to.
No, it's
immigration
not.
lawyers are so expensive. They're hard to reach at. And, sometimes you don't know what the right questions are to ask, and what is the right answer to it. So, having Tahmina on board is a very big win for us. And what we're doing is we're doing like information sessions where she's going to come and answer questions or guide people into or steer them in the right direction of what your path is if you've lost your jobs or if you're stuck in this green card
For a
application
long time.
process, or if you want to move towards entrepreneurship. A lot of people feel like you cannot get into entrepreneurship because you're an immigrant, but
Yeah, no, that's not true.
what is a very solid immigration path that you can take to move into entrepreneurship, or
Sure.
various other questions. So now I'm working with Tehmina to educate our community
love
for
that.
this, and then hopefully they'll be able to make more informed and educated decisions based on this, and nobody ever has to leave the country, especially because of their immigration status. And that has been a big pain in my life also.
That's
I think
wonderful what you're doing with Amina. I think that's very important. That's very crucial. And that's very eternal to having, being an immigrant, going through that process.
I mean, it's not like we were born with silver spoons. We come from very humble background. We have saved every penny, much like every other immigrant here, right? Like, I remember our first house, our couch was our bed, and it became our couch in the mornings, and our coffee table was our microwave box
I'm
that it
not
came in,
surprised
and
to hear
we
that.
would put
Yes.
a blanket over it, became our coffee table. So for me to get a visa, it meant to get into an interview, a 4-hour interview with an immigration officer, to convince him that my business is going to contribute to the economy of this country and growth of this country. And if you've ever been in an interview with an immigration officer, they're very scary.
Oh, they are.
It's not easy.
They're right on your face.
They're right on your face. They don't have any expressions on their faces. They're very scary. So I remember preparing for 2 years for this interview. We sold all of our properties everywhere just to make
Wow.
sure that we could get enough investment so I could apply for this visa. And so, if there was only one plan and all my eggs were in one basket, I did not have a plan B. And I had a kid. We both of us had full-time jobs. We were preparing non-stop for this interview. It was, we didn't take any vacations. There was no movie time. Every free
Wow.
minute of every day was went towards preparing for this application. It's not easy for any immigrant to just start I lost everything. I saw all of our hard work, all of our savings, everything.
What was
just
the reason? Did you know?
Yeah, I mean, they gave me multiple reasons. One of them was not enough investments. One of them was
Really?
Yeah, I mean, there were multiple reasons.
Wow.
But honestly,
I've never
at
heard
that
of
point,
that.
Yeah.
Like, not enough investment.
He actually told me that he wouldn't advise going at it again, because once your visa has been rejected, it takes
Yes,
even
it's a red
more
flag.
effort and everything. But he said, if there's one person who can do it, it's you. You think my lawyer would have believed me if I didn't believe in myself, or if I wasn't so confident that I wanted to do that? So then I started building resources again, and we started, more loans and more investments, everything. And then I went back at it again, and, more effort. And the second time I got it.
Wow.
But, all I'm trying to say is
Yeah, a
that
lot of
immigration.
people wouldn't even try what you did.
Yeah.
So don't give up.
Yeah, don't give up, guys. Like, just believe in your dreams. It's your dream, right? Nobody else can fight for you stronger and harder than what you do.
So I'm going to end this segment with a very funny story. I heard this story this morning on Instagram. It's not my story. So this saint is talking about this story to the public, and he says, there's a little boy in school. This boy says to his teacher, the teacher asks the question, what do you want to be when you grow up? And the boy says, I want to have a Ferrari. I want to have $5 million in my bank account, and I want to travel the world. I want to have 5 houses, and I want to be the richest person on this planet. And the teacher was really mad. And the teacher said, are you crazy? What are you talking about? I'm asking you, what is your dream? The boy is just sharing the dream. But then she's super mad. So she asked the girl who was next to him, you tell me, what is your dream? And the girl says, I want to be his wife. So we all can dream big. There is no limit to what you can dream. And the dreams can become a reality. But we should never stop somebody in dreaming, because there is a power in dreaming. And we have to understand that the power comes from within. And we should not constrain anybody in this life with what they want to achieve. Deepali, I'm going to read this quote by Oprah Winfrey. She says, the biggest adventure you can take is to live the life of your dreams. Knowledge is power, and we are here to empower. And you have received two beautiful awards. One is the Most Admired Global Indian Award, and the second one is Marquis, Who is Who biography. How do you feel? And I know we talked a little bit before that you were not expecting, that's, and I say, I'm going to say it again. You are really humble and you have that humility within you. But I know it's very exciting when you are actually getting the accolades that you deserve, and you do deserve. So tell me, how and what does this mean to you?
Honestly, Niyati, I don't think it has changed a thing in my life. I think, I still wash my own dishes. I still, I laugh the loudest. I'm the loudest person in the room. I make silly jokes. I make pranks. So, I don't come across. So when I start talking business, or, when I talk about financial modeling or negotiating my leases, a lot of people don't take me seriously, or people don't think that I'm, capable
enough
of
to
making
do
these
it.
decisions,
Yeah.
because I don't look a certain way. I don't.
I know what you're saying. Yes.
Yeah, so I don't, I don't think a lot of people understand. I think it's the subconscious conditioning or the bias towards women. And you know what? I'll tell you one thing: why lift to dance is so different from any other businesses, or why it is so difficult what I do, is because Lift to Dance is so heavily focused on community building. My husband jokes about it, but he is very, very true that I do 20% of my job and 80% of social activism, and towards building my community. So just being a dance instructor is itself is a full-time job, and activism is a full-time job, and community building is a full-time job, and being a mom is a full-time job. So I'm doing all of this and only 20% of my business. I cannot tell you how stressed I am every month that, am I going to break even this month? Am I going to break even? And I have to keep my business afloat for me to survive. Like,
Yeah.
I'm able to do all of this because my business is surviving. But I am doing it right. I am balancing business and community together, which is the hardest thing to do. There's such a thin line between both of them, and I have to make sure that everybody in my community feels like home while I'm also running a business. It is
Sure.
not easy. I'm doing one of the hardest jobs, and people still don't think I know what I'm doing. I've been given all these awards and accolades, and the other day I was at an event, and I was invited for that event. I was one of the guests for that event, and when I went there, I was very excited. I was very excited to be invited. So I went there, and all of the dignitaries, or the main leaders or faces
The
of
guests,
this
yeah.
Indian diaspora were all these men who probably have been here for a while, and who've been recognized faces of
Sure,
the Indian
yeah.
diaspora here. And I knew a few of them, so I went and I said hi to them, and one of them said, "Oh, hey, Deepali, so you're here to perform?" And
Oh, wow.
I
Yeah.
don't mean that as an
I know
insult,
what you mean,
but
yeah.
it just shook me. And I was like, no, I am here. I'm invited here. Like, what else do I have to do to prove myself that I belong here? I am successful.
Absolutely.
The questions that I get asked. Oh my gosh! The other day, one of our instructors, I was just showing him around, and it was a guest instructor. I was showing him around, and he said, "Oh, fancy car! Your husband must have a good job." And I was like, wow, it is not, even if I wasn't working, even if I was just a
Wow, that
homemaker,
is
it is not
so
okay to
not
say that. You're
acceptable.
contributing to the household, right? You're
Of
even as a
course.
homemaker.
And this is exactly where my next question to you was, that your social media often sheds light on the assumptions that people make about your success, coupled with constant comparisons to your husband. How do you navigate and dispel these misconceptions? Because we've always encountered instances of male chauvinism.
Yeah.
And this is the perfect example of what you just mentioned, where people don't mean that you're successful,
Yeah.
right? Being successful for them has a different
Yeah, yeah.
tagline,
Yeah.
right? So, how do you actually, work towards that?
I think it is a very subconscious bias, and the conditioning, the way this society has been over so many years. And it's going to take so much time, Niyati. I think it's not going to happen in 1 day or 2 days. It is going to take generations, but generations of women. I think my generation of women is very strong. They know what they're doing. They're resilient. They are at it, and they should not never stop doing what they're doing, making enough noise, talking about it. I'm never going to stop raising awareness about it. It's not okay for you to come to me and tell me, oh, you're so lucky that your husband supports you in what you do. Nobody tells him that you're so lucky that
Yeah,
your wife
exactly.
wife is so supportive of your career decisions. I mean, we are in the same household, right?
It's a 50-50 partnership.
worth
I've
Asians.
quit my job from a corporate career 3 years back. And since then, I've been evolving as an entrepreneur, and I feel I've landed now. And so many times people comment, oh, you're again doing something different? But isn't that something that's recognizable?
Yeah.
Why are women looked upon as, why do you keep trying?
Yeah.
I'll keep trying till my last breath
Yeah.
if that doesn't make me happy.
Yeah.
Whether I'm a woman or a man, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I think it's for every single person
Yeah.
that you cannot give up trying on your life, on your dreams, your desires, your goals.
And I think we owe it to our kids, right? Like,
We do.
I don't think the answer to this is to constantly keep educating people. I think the only problem is that the way the society has been conditioned, and it can only break with a lot of education and
does,
and
yeah.
talking more about it and letting people know it is not okay.
Deepali, we are coming towards the end of the show, and I think I've learned so much today from you.
Thank you.
And I hope that all of viewers are doing the same, because your leadership, mentorship, your courage, your resilience, everything just talks so much about you as a woman and how you're empowering not just women, a lot of men as well in this community. And the last segment is called the burning questions.
Okay.
And the first question is, tell us a secret that nobody knows about you. I would love to know that.
Honestly, I think everybody knows everything about me. I don't have many secrets, but one thing that not a lot of people know about us, me and my husband, is that we've been married 13 years, and we've been seeing a marriage counselor for 13 years. So we've always had a counselor in our marriage, and I'm talking
is
about
so
it
lovely.
because it should not be a taboo. It's like, with how
should
you
not
take care
be.
of your physical health, and you have a general practitioner. We have a marriage counselor, a therapist who helps us. It's like having a third party in your relationship, and it actually it doesn't mean that our relationship is rocky or something. It just means it's a healthy relationship. We talk about all of our issues. In fact, it's become like a running joke in our house that when my husband and I can't come to terms in an argument, we're like, take care, we'll ask him on Wednesday. We'll see who's right. And if we don't do a certain thing, and I'll be like, I'll tell I'll tell
You've
him about
actually spoken about a very important aspect. One of my previous guests from season 1 also spoke about the fact of having a therapist. And I've never had one. It's really hard to also, a lot of times, convince men of the household that it's not about that somebody needs therapy.
No.
It's about the fact, what you just said, it's about creating healthy relationships.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we're not so vocal even between each other. So having that, or you need to find that third person that you both are comfortable with.
Yeah.
And I think that is so beautiful. And I think this is a secret that would stay with me for life, because I've just learned a lesson. My next question is, what was the turning point in your life that actually led you to create Live to Dance?
Oh, I think it was when I moved to Ottawa, Canada. We moved to Canada 13 years ago. And it was when I moved to Canada, I realized as an immigrant, it was so hard to, where do I go? Like, I didn't have anybody who I could call. I got married to my husband, and he is not very social, so he didn't have any friends. And, it was for me to just figure it out myself. So I think it was basically that when I moved to Ottawa, Canada, and I realized that I need to do this. I need to bring people together, like-minded people together, and I just need to do this.
That's amazing. And I'm so glad you did, because like we discussed, it's become one of the most popular communities and lovable communities. So if you're not part of it, reach out
I
to
don't know
Live to
where you
Dance.
are, you guys.
She's going to do all remote as well very soon. Okay, and the last question, how do you navigate the challenges and criticism you faced on your journey? And what advice would you like to give to any women or men that are watching today?
The challenges I already spoke about. Immigration is my biggest challenge. Entrepreneurship itself is a really big challenge here. So other oh my gosh, I feel like this entire podcast has been about giving advices, and I don't think advices really changes your life. I think if one advice could change your life, then everybody would be who watches TED Talks would be a millionaire. But how I navigate through challenges, I think I surround myself with the best people in the world. I surround myself with my champions, with people who I take inspiration from, who cheer for me,
That
who
is
will
so
not stab
rightly
me in the
said.
back, who will, give me positive influence. I try to block away any sort of toxicity in my life. They say you're the average of 5 to 10 people you spend the most time with,
That
right?
is so true.
It's as simple as that. Make wise choices. Make sure you're surrounding yourself with the most amazing, inspiring people who push you to do your best.
A lot of times people are not ready to get rid of the toxicity in their life or toxic people in their
Honestly,
life.
it's very hard. It's very hard. I mean, when you reach a status or stature in your life where people realize, oh, there's so much we can take so much from her. Let's just befriend her just to be able to access the resources. It's very hard to avoid toxicity. But I think what keeps you grounded and safe is your environment and your people. And I have made a very conscious choice of making sure that my circle is the most positive, the most loving,
Love that.
kind, and I always say this, but at the end of the day, we're all just walking each other home. We're
We
all
do.
gonna die in the end of the day. Your and my path cross today, and we're gonna influence each other in some way, right? So we are
So
all
true.
walking towards the same goal. So
There's always a reason why you meet the other person.
Yeah.
I always feel that from my heart.
Yeah.
Whether that was good or bad, it has got to give me a lesson for life.
Yeah.
And I never forget that. I have forgived people so many
Yeah,
times because
same.
I've matured over
Same,
age.
same.
I love
So,
that.
yeah.
Thank you so much, Deepali. That was so inspirational.
Thank
that was
you.
absolutely, raw
Thank
and
you.
incredible for you to actually come here today and, share your story.
I
I'm sure it's
appreciate it.
inspired so many people
I appreciate
around.
it, and I love what you're doing as well, giving
Thank
a
you.
voice to other women. And keep doing. More power to you. I hope I wish you all the success in the world, Niyati. I can't
Thank
wait
you.
to see
I
you
really
absolutely
love that.
flourish.
Thank you so much. Means a lot.
Thank you.
As we conclude this episode, we are reminded that the impact of one person can resonate far beyond the individual. Cultural integration is the bridge that connects communities for life. Make a pledge today to start making a difference for your life and those around you. Thank you for joining us on Women in the Making, where every story is a testament to the power of women shaping their destinies.